As I almost lost my voice yesterday, I realized one thing. I don't have to talk. This guy, meet Daniel, can do it for me. In the past, I said at least one time that I think money is a long overdue concept, and in this video, I want to explain why I think that. The explanation is simple. There are going to be too many of us, and not enough jobs. Especially because automatization and robots are being constantly trained to replace us in the jobs that are too difficult for artificial intelligence at the moment. And the robots are already used to replace us in some jobs already. I think that you might be inclined to agree, and that you also know why I think that. Corona. Having a job that you think is stable is nice, but when a crisis like the one we currently have arises, everyone, including your employer, wants to cut losses where possible. Suddenly you don't have the surety of having a job, and have to prepare for the possibility of looking for another job. But in the future, this might be a regular occurrence, minus the first part, that is, having a job in the first place. I want to communicate that an employer always wants to cut its losses, and a robot is the best tool for that. Instead of paying out salary to workers which have physical needs, the employer suddenly has to pay way less to technicians to keep these robots running. I think that in the future, automatization will be everywhere. Hell, it is in many places these days too. Train station announcement systems, vendor machines, security checks like card readers, facial recognition, traffic evaluation systems, and more. Some of those that Daniel just named use artificial intelligence, others, like Daniel here, do not. But even Daniel uses some level of analysis. Analyzing what I tell him to say, letter by letter, word by word, sentence by sentence, and finally paragraph by paragraph. All that I, and many others who come to him every day, are doing is giving him and his creator or creators more data to make him more efficient. He is learning. Whether directly or indirectly, he is learning. To someday, perhaps be turned into an announcer, or to serve as a database for creation of a fully functional artificial intelligence's voice. Now, I will not pretend to know how an artificial voice is made, but I think that such a scenario is possible. I mean, robots, artificial intelligence, and automatization have one thing in common. They do not have to depend on us, humans, to function. Daniel does not care if I am sick, which currently is the case. All he cares about is having power and an internet connection, and he is there, 24/7, not sleeping, waiting for a user's input. And now imagine that in the future, these Daniels are everywhere, performing jobs that a human was required to do at some point in the past. Not requiring a payment, any days off, always ready to work, to make profit. And now what to do with all the useless humans? They cannot earn, because there is no use for them. Most of them cannot program, because programming is a difficult task, and there is more and more and more and more of them. An endless tide. Oh, and a postscript. As I was making this video, an announcement played on the radio. The government of this country intends to break personal privacy, to try and limit spread of corona. Funny thing, as policemen patrolling the streets would be far more useful in my opinion. Regardless, my point is that governments may say that such a privacy break is only temporary, but once corona passes, and they refuse to stop breaking privacy, at least publicly, then we are in for a real treat.